Hello you beautiful people out there, what is going on? This is your friend BritikHD coming fast with a Paragon tips and tricks video, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 Noob-Slayer heroes, aka the heroes that are really good at lower elo gameplay like bronze, silver, and even gold, and that fall off drastically once you start going through platinum, and by the time you reach a diamond, almost nobody is playing them or winning with them. So let's go ahead and talk about these top 5 heroes and also how to counter them for you newer guys out there. And I mean Noob-Slayer and the noob part of it in the nicest way possible, just in the simple fact that, yeah, there's going to be newbies, there's going to be new players in the game all the time. So this guide is for y'all and to help y'all out. And if you're still struggling with these heroes, then stay put. Now the 5 heroes that I'm going to be talking about in no particular order by importance or annoyingness or whatever you want to say are Countess, Greystone, Morigesh, Wukong, and Chimera. Now, Wukong and Morigesh are a little bit different from the other 3 in that they are seen way more than those other 3 in Platinum and Diamond gameplay, but they can still be a lot of trouble for newer players to deal with, and we're going to talk about those reasons and then how to counter those heroes. So let's talk about my favorite one, Chimera. So I have a lot of people always coming into my streams. I'm a jungler main. I play a lot in the jungle, as you guys can tell by this gameplay, and people are like, Chimera is such a good jungler. Why do you never play him? Because I play in the diamond skill bracket, the highest skill bracket in the internal MMR system that is currently available in Paragon. And also, by the way, guys, I'm using Agora.gg as my reference for these statistics. I'm going off of win rate, pick rate, and also I'm going off of personal experience. So if you guys don't know what Agora.gg is, I'll put a link down in the description below. You guys can go to the hero tab and check it for yourself. Now, Chimera, he's such a good jungler, right? I mean, he is. His kit is great. He's got the best sustain for jungling. He'll never lose health when he's jungling if you just put 1 point into his E and then a 2nd point into his E at level 4. But the thing about Chimera is that he's a 1v1 type hero. He's a brawler, and that's exactly the way he was built, and that's exactly the way Epic wanted to design him, was to be, quote-unquote, the best at 1v1s, just built for 1v1s. So let's look at his kit. He's got an ambush, right? That's his ability name. It's a leap. That's a lock-on. And it slows upon landing, which lets him hit you with his basic attacks, his swings, his chops, until he can recharge it in 3 seconds and then leap again. So it's really hard to run away from him. His ultimate is a lockdown. It roots you in place while it does a bunch of damage simultaneously. So it does a lot of burst damage, and that just gets a lot of people erect, especially when they're first to the game and they like seeing that they're doing a lot of damage. That makes them feel special, makes them feel good about themselves. That's why everybody always wants to play carries, it seems. But Chimera is really not that good of a hero because he's so aggressive. He's so aggressive. And as you will see with a certain trend, the more you go, the more you increase in elo, and the higher you go in skill level, it's not good to be so aggressive. Because that's his only thing, is that he's aggressive. He can chase you down, he can win 1v1 fights, sure, but he's super duper aggressive, and that leads into a popular theme that I will discuss once I'm done talking about these first 3 heroes. Now let's talk about Countess. Same thing. She's really aggressive. All she has to do is blink into you with her ability and then use her combo, and she'll deal a massive amount of damage, especially to a single target with her ultimate. She's really good at 1v1 situations. Now the reason I keep mentioning 1v1 situations is because in bronze and silver especially, less so in gold, but this does happen in gold still, there tends to be a ton of 1v1 fights instead of grouping up and team fights, which is really the best way to fight in MOBAs. You'll notice if you watch any high-level gameplay, or as you continue to watch my channel, you'll continue to watch my gameplay, most of the fights are happening as a team, like over here in the top right corner, in the top left corner of the map. Let's go ahead over to Grim real quick away from me, just to show you that, yeah, you're going to be fighting a lot with your team, and I'm going to come over here and help my team out, and this is how we're going to secure kills, and this is how we're going to get the advantage over our enemy. Not 1v1 fights, but going together, grouping together, using your abilities together, peeling together. And that's the biggest difference between lower tier gameplay and higher tier gameplay, is the amount of teamwork and cooperation and communication within fights like this. So heroes that specialize and are just excellent in 1v1 situations like Chimera and Countess are going to be really good for crushing newer players because that's just the play style that everybody's used to. Everybody's so used to being in their own lane. They're not comfortable with rotating yet. They're not comfortable with rotating to objectives like Raptors or Orb Prime. Fangtooth, not Raptors. Jeez, I'm still thinking about Legacy, huh? Wait, no, not even Legacy. Earlier Monolith. Legacy, it was black buff. If you guys remember, Fangtooth was actually the black buff that did bonus damage to structures. Oh well, we're getting off topic here. The third hero that we're talking about is Greystone. And Greystone, again, really straightforward and really aggressive. Likes to run into you, likes to leap into you and just swing his sword back and forth. Wave it in the air like he just doesn't care. And that's because his ultimate is a big dive bomb nuke that explodes when he dies, and it creates a slow area of effect that's great for crowd control, and it also does a lot of damage. So that's the whole point of Greystone. He wants to die. He's like that emo kid in middle school that was always neglected, that you probably should have paid attention to. I'm just kidding. He's good. Nothing happened to him. He got help. He's fine. But the thing with Greystone is that he is really, really, really aggressive because that's just how his ultimate works. He wants to die next to the enemy team to provide that pool of crowd control for, hopefully, his teammates to capitalize on. Even if his teammates aren't there, he's really good for 1v1 situations because even if he dies, he doesn't let the opponent run away from him while he's reviving because of that crowd control, because of that slow effect around his ultimate. So, with all three of these heroes, I mentioned that they're all incredibly aggressive, and the way to counter them is to keep them at bay. It's to keep their position secure. Because they are so aggressive, they are very predictable. You know what they're going to do. You know how they're going to engage the fight. You know what they're going to attack you with. Chimera is 99% of the time going to start with that leap ability of his. Don't let him get close enough. Countess is 99% of the time going to start with that blink ability of hers to close the distance quickly. Don't let her do that. Keep her at bay. Greystone, same thing. Don't let him die next to you. That's what he wants. Keep him at bay. Use tools in your kit such as crowd control, such as slows, stunts, knockups. Bellica is a great hero that comes to mind because she can use her knockup to just run away from anybody, really. It stuns them for a second or two, depending on the level, and you can run away from the enemy by doing that. Use escape abilities like Gideon with his teleport, or Feng Mao with his leap, you know, the reaping dash ability. You have to be in charge of the positioning of these enemy heroes, Greystone, Chimera, and Countess, and once you do that, you'll be fine. Also, in team fights, they fall short. Like I said, they're great in 1v1s, but they're not good in team fights. The only way they are okay in team fights is if they isolate targets. If Chimera or Countess isolate the carry. But usually that's not going to happen in higher level gameplay where everybody is holding hands and paying attention all the time, and they know to focus these targets like Chimera and Countess to keep your high value teammate alive. That's the most important thing. So, of course, it's going to be easy to counter them. Morigesh, on the other hand, has a little bit more range than those three heroes, but she also has to do a lot with positioning. Her abilities are really short range, so once you lock down her positioning, she's pretty easy to deal with. You don't really have to worry about her that much, as long as you can keep her at bay if you're another caster in mid lane trying to fight her. And if you're in team fights, you just lock her down and shut her down quick, because she is very squishy. Now, all four of these heroes can be considered, well, not all four, excluding Greystone, can be considered quote-unquote assassins because they're really good at 1v1s, they lock people down, especially in team fights, they isolate people, lock them down, and do a buttload of damage. But we're not going to be isolating them in that group just to keep things simple. They're all very predictable, and that is how you want to deal with them. You want to use crowd control. Crowd control is king. It always will be king. And heroes with a lot of crowd control are always going to be meta. And that is why you want to be able to use that crowd control. That is why. That's why they're always going to be meta, because to counter heroes like that are just really high in damage but don't have really much else to offer them, because you can isolate them, peel them away from you before they can do all that damage, yada yada yada. And the last hero I want to talk about is Wukong. Not because he's predictable. Wukong is not predictable. He's really hard to lock down. And he's not all about that direct approach in fights either. The thing about Wukong, though, is that he's one of the best, if not the best, split pusher in the game. And that's the problem in lower elo brackets is that a lot of people, like I said, are not really used to rotating, and it's really easy to catch people off guard and out of position and have a free lane to yourself as Wukong to push down and take tier 1s, tier 2s, and inhibitors, especially if there's fighting going on in other parts of the map. Newer players have a very hard time paying attention to the minimap while simultaneously paying attention to the farm in front of them, paying attention to the fights in front of them, and paying attention to literally all the other hundreds of things that you have to micromanage in this game, which makes Wukong really, really good at lower elos. But as you gain experience and as you learn how to read the map and all the above and everything, Wukong is just a nuisance. You just have to back more often to protect your towers, but other than that, he's not as influential as he is in lower elos. So those are my top 5, the 5 most important Noob-Slayer heroes, as I call them, that I think you guys should look out for and you should counter and learn how to fight against. Like I said, in higher elo gameplay, a lot of the stuff goes on in team fights, like you guys are seeing right here. So it's really easy to counter those heroes that specialize in 1v1 situations if you group up and fight as teams. That's number 1. And number 2, isolate their positioning by using CC on an individual basis, and also abilities that help you move, like Sevarog's dash helps him move around, helps him escape situations and stuff like that. Movement abilities and crowd control abilities that help you isolate and escape your targets from those 1v1 situations. Those are the best ways to deal with these heroes that I talked about. Except for Wukong, you just have to be on top of those rotations. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and turn on that notification bell so you guys always get notified right when I upload a new video, so you never miss any tips or tricks on how to be the best Paragon players ever. As always, make sure to have a wonderful day. Peace.